For the murder of the wounded, looting, cannibalism, you are hereby sentenced to death by hanging. Or torment.
Don't meddle. Take the reward and let's go.
Help me!
Knew you witches wouldn't scorn imperial gold. Tough hunt.
Tougher than yours, that's certain. Evil is evil. Lesser, greater, middling, makes no difference.
Can't fit me!
Bring her down. Do it my way. You like that, you bitch? Get the hammer. Kick her teeth in.
The degree is arbitrary, the definition's blurred. If I'm to choose between one evil and another, I'd rather not choose at all. Just make it quick, Geralt.
What the?
Close your eyes.
Hit him. What are you doing?
Killing monsters.
Episode 9. The Dungeon of the Beating Heart. A heart beat loudly across the room where cultists chanted and plunged daggers into Ayla's fiance. The elf screamed in terror and agony as he was sacrificed to whatever sick god these people worshipped. The darkness was thick, as if a blanket that fell over top of everyone. The silence was broken by screams, chants, and a thudding of a massive heart. Chains rattled as another sacrifice was being brought to the altar. Alright, let me switch over here. Alright. We're gonna start with Lucyr. Alright. 2 seconds here. I'm having browser this. Lucyr, over the last few minutes, you've been rounded up from your cell. A guard, nameless and faceless under a helm, pulls your chain, pulling you closer and away from your resting place for several days, if not weeks. Pulls you along roughly, and with these manacles specifically designed to keep you in check, there's little you can do. Pulls you along closer and closer to something you hear faintly in the distance. A kerthud, a kerthud, a kerthud. Brings you closer to a door and roughly pushes it open.
As he does so, Lucyr is like, "Don't do this. I know you don't want to do this. Just unlock me. I could make you rich. I could protect you. I could protect your family. Just unlock me. Take these cuffs off. I know you don't want to do that."
Guard looks at you, shakes his head. What I want has nothing to do with it.
Is this one of the guards that I managed to do a little telepathy on at one point?
Yeah, I would say so.
Do I know maybe like maybe he thought of like a daughter or a son or a wife or someone like a name or something?
Sure, I'll let you make that up.
As he's like opening the door, Lucyr's gonna like grab the front of his like cloak and pull him close and be like, "Would Maria be proud of you for doing this. Think of her. Think of what she'll say when she finds out. Because someday she's going to find out. Just let me go. I can protect you. I can protect your family.
He looks at you and pulls back slightly. You can't protect anyone from this. And as he says that, the scene switches over to Sir Carthis, Ayla, Rothmyr, and Illithor in the darkness.
So, have they, at this point, pushed Elian into the hole, or?
No. They're continuing to... It's hard to see exactly, but it appears that they're continuing to carve up his flesh. And it looks like they're taking this flesh and moving it around on the altar, but it's hard to see exactly what they're doing.
Ayla, seeing the face of her fiance, someone she hasn't seen in almost 60 years, him being so close to her grasp, being alive still, but being impaled, perhaps sacrificed. Thought goes through her head that if they had only been here moments before, if they had not alerted the creature from below, if she had not taken the time to attempt to heal Sir Carthis' leg, if she had not been so slow in the travel, they could have made it in time to maybe stop this from happening. She rushes up between Rothmyr, Sir Carthis, squeezing herself between them. Him being so close, she just lets out a scream that echoes this dark room, just calling out, "Elian!"
The elf sorcerer screams. Illithor looks panicked as he moves forward, his eyes darting left and right. Sir Carthis and Rothmyr, what is your reaction?
Upon hearing Ayla scream, Sir Carthis and curse, "Oh, damn it," and knowing that that's definitely going to give them away, he... Is this like, can I be able to pull myself over this parapet here?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, he's going to pull himself over the parapet and start moving towards the closest cultist he could see, weapon raised, because he knows that it's better to get the jump on them now at this point. Surprise is gone.
And you're in complete darkness right now. Keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. All right. Rogue. Rogue.
Uh-oh.
Someone bounce off and then come back in.
Rogue, if you're talking, we do not... signs of life? You there, Rogue?
Immediately. Or window.
Okay. I'm kinda hearing you.
I heard something.
Yeah.
Something about immediately.
Yeah. You're cutting in and out or something. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's lighting up, but I don't see him.
He typed in roll 20.
Yeah, but he's speaking too, and we don't hear him.
Yeah.
Rogue, maybe reboot your computer?
Shadows.
Just try to log off Discord and log back in, maybe. We can wait for you. Crap, you can see me. I don't know why he's worrying about roll 20.
Ave paused.
Just let it go and cut it. Heard that.
Rogue?
I am going red a lot.
Same.
An old Thursday
can see
night
him.
Discord.
Rogue. God, this heartbeat freaked me out.
Sigh.
Oh,
Rogue,
they're
you
gonna
there?
fly. Rogue. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Hey!
Oh my god.
Up.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I resume.
Alright, sorry about that, guys.
now. No, you're fine.
It happens.
I was trying to say, is there a way for me to slide into the shadows?
There is. Yeah, you could use stealth if you don't want to be seen, and then move your speed in any direction you would like. I would let you do that now.
Okay, I'm gonna try doing that.
Okay. Are you in roll 20 or I don't see you in there anymore?
Yeah, I haven't got. It hasn't
okay.
loaded up
Okay,
again yet.
cool. That's fine. So just when you get back in, just go ahead and roll me stealth, and then we'll see. Your speed is 7. So you can move 7 meters in any direction you would like.
I'm gonna move off to the right and
Okay.
it's loading up here.
Yeah, and just measure from the edge of your token. It's the easiest, because your token is everybody's token. It takes, a bit of space too. So.
Are we doing meters or feet?
We are doing meters, and this was set wrong. So try it.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh
I was gonna say I can figure it out.
No. I hate that. Okay. This is
Man, I'm slow.
Hold on.
Are we still in complete darkness?
Hold on.
Oh god. Oh,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
All right. So you can actually, these are actually set to 5. So go ahead and, not gonna be able to. Yeah, we'll just do the meters. So go ahead and you can move 7 meters. So first thing, go ahead and roll me some stealth there, Rogue.
Uh-oh.
Rogue?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, no That is, it's for a token macro, that would be under stealth is what?
Dex.
Yes, Dex.
Here we go.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you move in the shadows, and although Ayla screams and heads turn in her direction, the guard next to Lucere turns and says, "You see? It's already happening. Just go inside. Get it over with."
Does the guard have like a sword or a weapon?
He has a sword in his sheath, yeah.
Can Lucer try and like grab it and like yank it out? like do a sleight of hand to try and like pull it off of him?
Cuffed, I would give you a pretty significant penalty, but you could try.
Yeah, still worth a shot.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a brawling -5.
Brawling is under reflexes, correct?
You can just do punch on your, and that just rolls brawling. It's fine. Your token should have a punch.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna roll dodge. Yeah, he bats your hand away. What are you doing, you fool? And at that point, I'm gonna let everybody roll initiative. Everybody, let me make sure it's clear. Okay, initiative tracker is clear. So go ahead and begin your rolls. Has everybody rolled? I see everybody but says Rothmyr.
Where's...
on your token, it's the first button. Pound, pound, pound initiative. So it's a button on your token.
For some reason, mine's not popping up.
Let me make sure, but I think it's there for you.
It seemed to work last time.
Yep, it's there. So you click on your token, you don't see any buttons at the top?
No, I don't, for some reason.
Is he listed as art instead or something?
No.
Is your as whatever set to Rothmyr as far as your name in the bottom right? Because that could have a bearing on it, I think.
Yeah, it is set there.
Hmm.
God, I didn't have any problem last time. I don't see why it's not.
Let me pull a new token in for you. Hold on.
I went through off my character sheet, maybe, and it rolled a 10.
Okay, see if you can select your new token and if it has.
There we go. It popped up. Now
Okay,
they're all up
all
to
right.
top.
So go ahead and roll it, and I'll just alter your thing to 10. Otherwise, it won't. No, hold on. There you go. All right. Hold on. Got it. All right. So you rolled 10 initially. All right. So here we go. Let me sort it. All right, Lucer, you're up.
So for every point of stamina a spell I would use at the moment, I take
damage.
5 points of damage.
That's correct.
Lucera's gonna look at the guard who just swatted him away and say, "You shouldn't have made me." Well, wait, what's he wearing?
Technically, he is wearing like brigandine, head to toe.
Okay, one. So Lucer steps back and says, "You shouldn't have made me do this." And as he says that, makes the hand motions and mumbles under his breath. wounds opening up. His arms and hands start bleeding, especially centered around where the handcuffs are. And as he does so, the chest plate of the guard starts to glow red hot, and starts to burn him for 1d6 rounds.
Alright, so...
Actually, it looks like it roll. So yeah, 1d6 rounds.
Mm-hmm. So
Roll
you can go
chance
ahead.
to ignite.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll a. Well, let's do the damage first. That's fine. Okay, it's for 2 rounds. Either spell can heat weapons to give him. Okay, so all right. So he takes 10 damage. I'm guessing that does not get soaked. I can't see how it would.
No.
He begins to scream, "Ah! Ow! Ah!" He just begins to try to clutch his chest.
And then can I spend like a point of stamina to try and like grab the keys from?
You absolutely can. You can spend 3 stamina for an additional action.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm recording the health hit. So one sec.
I know I do that.
Oh,
I do
okay,
that.
cool. Then yeah, I'll spend the 3 stamina to try and grab the key.
Just figuring out your stamina spins without your focus. Okay.
Yeah. It's a total of 5 so far.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I got you, and then plus 3 extra for your second action. So go ahead and roll another brawling roll.
I'm gonna spend 2 luck points on this.
Okay.
Sorry, wait 1 sec.
Okay.
Do I still take the -5, or is he so distracted from?
No, you take the -5 because your hands are bound.
Yeah, I figured. Just was.
You're fine. He will try to dodge, and that will be 1 stamina for him.
So close.
Just even though this guy's in agony, you're not able to get a hold of the keys. Now, with your action, you get your free movement up to your speed as well. If you want to take it, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move.
All right.
Yeah, I'll move there.
I don't know. That seems far. How much speed did you move?
So Lucer's speed is, I think, 8 or 9. Yeah, his speed is 8. I was just.
Yeah, you moved 25. Yeah, just mark it out with your ruler.
Yeah, sorry, I was doing the each square is a meter. My bad.
Yeah, no, we don't use squares. So go ahead and move back to where you were. So you're like, yeah, that's fine. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, so about where I'm
Okay,
at.
that's fine. So you begin to rush away. The cultists react to the scream of the elf.
Visitors, hurry up with it.
One of them yells.
I'll go and take care of these fools.
He turns and begins to run in your direction down there. This guy begins to run in your direction. That's his turn. This cultist on the bench comes over and he begins to work frantically. He's cutting and replacing and cutting and replacing. You're not sure what is exactly happening. I need to... He's just quickly moving. You're not sure what's happening as Sir Carthis can act.
Carthis hops over the parapet, loud thud, boots hitting the flooring, and looks over. He hears the hustle and bustle of this cultist coming over to meet them, and he looks back. Ayla, stay down. Calm yourself. We'll clear the way. Don't get caught in trouble. And I'll turn and start moving towards this fellow. And, not going to run, just going to pace myself a bit.
Yeah, you can move from the edge of your token closest to the way you're going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will... Now, is this in the light?
Yes, that's definitely in the light.
So I would position myself there and just kind of wait for him. I guess I can take a total defense move, basically. I think I remember that was one of the...
Yeah, as long as you don't run, you can.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of... I'll pace myself moving towards him at a steady pace, but getting ready defensive because I see he's probably going to close the distance.
Okay. Rothmyr, in the shadows, what would you like to do?
Rothmyr's going to have his two arms crossed over his chest with his daggers in them, in his hands, and kind of hidden under his cloak at the same time to kind of hide the glint of the firelight across the blades. He's going to try to put his back up to the pillar here in the shadows, if that's a pillar right there.
Yep, right in front of you it is.
Yeah, and he's also kind of waiting for this cultist to get closer and interact with Carthis there, so he can kind of roll around the pillar and maybe get the guy in the back.
Okay. Are you doing just a full defensive action for now, or?
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay. This other cultist also begins to run, unaware of what's happening over to his right, which is Lucer and the guard. He simply begins to rush towards those that are coming up from below. And then the other cultist does the same. So their 2 rounds are over. Go ahead. Oh, I skipped the guard. So the guard needs to roll. So, Lucer, go ahead and roll me a D100. We didn't do the fire thing. We need to find out if he's on fire.
I think the fire thing, the way the spell describes it, it's only if I'm using it as superheating a weapon.
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah, other like items, other things, so you just take the 2.
Yep, understood. Okay, cool. All right, so you fool! He begins to try to... Oh, you're right, Elithor. I'll add him to the end of initiative. That's okay. He's about at the end. Actually, I'll have him go now. What would you like him to do? I'll let you run him, Matt.
He'll most likely, I'd say, load up his crossbow and try to shoot at the one here.
Alright. So, oh man, that's some serious negatives because it's so dark.
I don't know if it's possible because there is that...
yeah, I mean, he can barely see him, right? But...
Oh, no, I was saying light the arrow on fire as it's going through. If he hits. I don't know if it's possible, if it's too fast.
With a quarrel, too, that would be really tough.
Yeah.
So what's the...
Would have to be drenched in like oil or something.
Even then, it would be...
No video game logic.
Yeah. 100 meters, he's 50, so you're half away. So his mod would be a -2 on his roll to hit. Plus, I would give him -10 with that darkness level. That's like... But he will try. He gets frantic and aims and fires. So this next shot is at a -12. Oops. Sorry. So that should be in. Oh god. He just shoots and it just ricochets off the ground. I can't see him! And then, the guard, after he shoots, actually he could shoot again if he wanted to. Oh, he needs to reload. That could be his second action. That makes sense. He begins to reload. Okay. The guard chasing down Lucier actually does a charge and tries to cut him down. Very good roll. Alright. Lucier, how would you like to... I think dodging's really your only option here.
Yeah, dodging.
You'll need reduce stamina. You should have a dodge button. Yeah, he whiffs, and as he whiffs, that spell is still burning his flesh. So he gets 2d6 damage again, yeah?
Yeah.
I believe. Alright, go ahead and just roll that spell again, and we'll just do for the damage part. Or 2d6, whatever, so 4.
Yeah, I'll just do the 2d6.
That's fine. He's screaming as it's melting into his chest as he swings that at you. Ayla, what would you do?
Ayla's gonna have a fight with herself on kind of charging in and going for Elian and following Sir Carthis' words and hanging back a bit. She looks to Illithor. She points at the cultist that's carving into Elian, just screaming, "Shoot him!" And she'll spend a full round. She'll hop this railing here, and she's actually going to run up. She's fairly slow, so she's going to take that full round to run up actually beside Sir Carthis.
Okay. Lucier.
Lucier, like ducking under the guard's attack, is going to stand up and like grab the side of his helmet and look him in the eyes and shout, "Drop the keys and run, Herald, or I will boil your blood and roast your flesh, and you will never see little Maria again." Doing an intimidate check to try and get him to like drop the keys and turn tail and run.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a intimidate roll. It should be under willpower, I think.
Yep,
Oh, you got it.
and I got it.
Oh, sorry. That's it. So that's just based on him being more scared of this demon thing than you. Oh yeah. The guard backs up and grabs the keys and just kind of tosses them to you into your stomach, and begins to like pull his breastplate off, dropping his sword on the ground as he does so.
Great. Unlocking myself from these things.
Yep, I think that would be your turn to unlock
Yeah.
yourself and intimidate. Makes sense.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
And there's a sword at your feet too.
Nice.
So this cultist continues to rush. We'll see if he has a charge range to them. I don't think he does. He's coming at Sir Carthis. Doesn't quite get there, so he's rushing Sir Carthis with this dagger in his hand, but it doesn't quite reach him. This one that's doing the carving, he's still working on something up there. It's unclear as what he's doing. Sir Carthis, you are now up.
Sir Carthis is gonna take the opportunity to push towards this cultist. Let's see.
Yeah, you can just move straight attack or whatever.
Yeah, I'll move forward into him and then just do quick attack against him here. So I bring my sword up, the cord, as it's called, and move forward with it as if I'm gonna stab first, and kind of do not a legitimate feint, but kind of like just come from a different angle than it first appeared, come like a overhead type swing, keeping my shield up as I do so.
Okay.
$12.
12. Okay, he attempts to dodge. No. 19 damage to the
half.
leg, so halved is, so first thing I do is subtract the soak, which is none, so 8 to the leg. Slices, how does it look as it just cuts into his leg?
So the cord rips across his thigh, and
then you get another attack, right?
yeah, not deep enough to bleed him, unfortunately.
That's right, yeah.
Rips it open, doesn't cut anything too serious, but nice disgusting wound, and then follow-up strike attempting to stab him.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't an extra action, it's just part of your
Nope,
quick
this is
attack,
just the
right?
second part of your fast attack.
Oh, another 12.
Attempts to dodge again. That one, he's basically his first approach. He was kind of haphazard and gets sliced in the leg, and then the second you try to stab him, and it's coming directly for his chin, and he's able to dodge aside at the last moment. And you can take your second action if you want.
Yeah, I will stamina. Is this 3 for another one?
Mm-hmm. I got all that.
Yeah, I will stamina and go ahead and do another. So if I do quick attack again, is that another 2?
Yep, fast attack is another.
Oh
2.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Let's do that. So yeah, Carthis, just keeping the pressure up, continues to kind of advance on him, swinging, stabbing. This would be another kind of quick.
Yep, and it should ask you if
shortcut.
it's your extra attack, and just say yes, because it'll put the -3 in there.
9.
9. He again tries to dodge. He is able to. The next attack, he ducks underneath it. He's a lot less armored than you, which makes him quicker.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your fumble. Oh wow, that's a negative. Keep going.
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding right now?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty good at this game.
Negative
by the way.
39. So that's actually it's negative 31. Hold on. Let me see this. This has got to be a critical fumble, doesn't it?
Oh my god.
I mean, I would assume so.
No, I'm so
What
sorry.
is that?
Oh my fault.
What is that?
That's what happens when you have really terrible luck in real life. It just transfers over to everything you do.
Oh, dude.
Welcome to the big leagues. I'm about to get thrown in this fucking pit.
Go ahead and roll me a D10.
Oh, good.
You want to roll low.
Oh no.
Roll another D10.
I really don't like the sound of this.
2. You bring your sword down and completely whiff. As it comes down, it just smashes against the ground, and you see a chip crack from the edge of it. You take 2 reliability damage on your sword. I'll go ahead and note it. And I believe you have another attack.
Oh, that was 2.
Oh, that was the second one? Okay.
Yeah, that's the second.
Wow, that was incredible. Okay.
It was.
Rothmyr, you're up.
Well, that could have been much more horrible, though. That's good.
Yeah.
Rothmyr is going to come around the pillar, and I believe I've gained squeeze that amount of movement. Would I be able to attack the cultists from that point, or?
Are you within 1 meter? I think you are, so yes.
Okay. He'll come around and pull the blades from behind his cloak, underneath his cloak, and try to stab him with the dagger in the back or whichever place is open for him.
Okay, so you're gonna get he's gonna get a -1 to his dodge. So go ahead and do your attack.
Okay. Fast strike.
Go ahead and roll a critical. Should also be on your button there. Should be the second one, I think. Yep. Go ahead and roll again. 12 plus, so 36. Here's his dodge. 8. So he definitely doesn't see you coming. So you hit him in the arm, but only 1 damage, so that's 1. That's soaked. But let me look at the critical stuff. That's a deadly critical, 20 damage that cannot be soaked. So how does that kill him? Go ahead and describe it.
Oh, nice. So Rothmyr spins around the pillar and whipping the blades out from underneath his cloak, takes the right blade and rips it, tries to get it into the rib cage, but slightly misses and slices across his arm and then up into his throat and underneath his chin.
As you bleed him out, he kind of falls backwards onto his butt and then rolls over onto the ground, just bleeding into a massive pool. At this time, Ilithor moves forward to get in position and tries to take a shot as he is told to do. That's 45, so it's going to be a medium range, -2. 8. This guy is gonna dodge. It just goes straight over his head as he shoots across the way. Ah! Ah! And he begins to reload his crossbow again. Not able to aim very well lately. And the cultists start. This cultist continues to come down. Moving around. Too far. They're just rushing towards you. This one sees kind of what's happening, and he begins to go back for some reason. The guard near Lucier strips off his chest plate, throws it on the ground, and begins to run back the way he came, effectively fleeing. Ayla, you're up.
Ayla, still very focused on Elian, just scrambles past Sir Carthis and Rothmyr, and she pushes herself to run. Good double move there, and I'm going to spend the extra 3 stamina to do 2 run actions.
Yeah, you can't. That's a full round action. You can only do it once.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just still going to try and run up kind of beside Sir Carthis. She's very, very slow.
Okay. Lucier, you're up.
Lucier, the manacles falling from his wrists, seems to breathe a deep sigh, and a certain amount of the paleness about him just kind of disappears, and he seems to hold himself taller. Gonna go ahead and cast magic healing on himself.
Okay, go ahead. So that's technically a stamina 5 cost because you don't have your focus.
I thought it's stamina 3 cost, and then my focus would normally take 2 away.
Not usually the way I built. I mean, I can look real quick and see what magic healing is, but usually I add it in. But I'll make sure. Let me make sure. Magic healing is stamina cost 5, normal.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So let me do that. So
No big.
Sorry, -5. Okay.
And it's 1d10 rounds, 3 HP a round. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll it.
Yep. 5 rounds. So you get 3 right away. I'll add that. You begin to heal right away as your wounds suddenly begin to close, and you feel your vigor begin to regenerate on your body immediately after the manacles fall from your wrists. And as you get there and you look, you see something's going on in the other chamber. You hear sounds of swords swinging and things of that nature. Something is definitely going on.
I'm assuming I hear the giant heartbeat too.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Could Lucier pick up the sword and still move?
Yeah, you could do that as your second. So one of your moves give you, one of your actions give you a move, and then your second action is whatever you want it to be, so long as it's not a full action.
Okay.
So
then,
you can pick it up.
Lucier will pick up the guard's drop sword and start moving towards the sound of the heartbeat and the fighting. So he moves to where I just put him.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, that's you. Give me 2 seconds here. I want to tell you what to put in your. So that his sword is 2d6 plus 2. So if you want to put that in one of your equipment slots that's open, you can.
Yeah, putting it in my sword.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. The cultist is continually doing something up there. You just see blood just flying in this. But it's unclear what's happening exactly. Sir Carthis, you're up.
Yeah, so Carthis is going to look, see that cultist is doing whatever he's doing to the reason that we're here, the man we're looking for, and look over to Rothmyr. Rothmyr, get the one who's doing whatever he's doing there, and keep Ayla safe. I'll keep the rest of them off of us.
Aye.
And I'll look over to this cultist. Same thing, start approaching, very measured. Let's see. Speaking of measured. Right about there looks good. Just pretty much move to the other end of the brassiere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Full defense, I'm guessing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rothmyr, you're up.
How far can I throw my throwing blades?
Should have a range on it. Let's see. Let's see.
Typically
Dagger.
it's short, I think, whatever short range is.
Let me look real quick. Their range is 20 meters. So that's your maximum range.
See. 20 meters. Okay. Let's see how. I don't think I'll be able to make it to him quite yet.
Yeah, you can move and then throw too.
28 meters. Yeah.
You get it at a max. So you can throw at 2 times the range, but it's a -6 mod. So you could throw it up to 60, or I'm sorry, up to 40.
And you know what I'm thinking? He wouldn't be like, oh, that's too far for me. He'd probably try to do it anyway.
Sure.
Run up to the edge there as he's running towards that cultist to stop him, and it's kind of like a sick smile on his face almost, and he's gonna pull out one of his throwing knives and hurl it at that cultist.
Okay.
And that'll just be the regular dagger, right? Regular dagger.
Yeah, and it should ask you for. I think so. Yeah, I think it is. No, I don't know that I ever set up your guy with throwing blades. Go ahead and roll, because it should be an athletics roll, and I don't think that's what that is. So go ahead and roll athletics for me.
Oh, okay.
And then it's going to be at a -6. Just keep in mind to add your stuff up.
-6 here.
That's with the -6, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to dodge that. Yeah, it just falls just short and just hits the back side of this hole, ricocheting and then falling down.
Okay, and I'll just move the rest of my movement, and that'll be it for me.
Okay. Illithor sees the cultist getting closer and determines to shoot the other one. Or actually, you just tell me. Do you want him to keep trying to shoot the guy on the bridge?
Yeah.
Yes, he will. Okay.
At this point. Oh.
Yeah, so he tries to. He is definitely not very good at this. It's a wonder how you survived.
I know.
To be fair, I don't think he hit anything last session.
No, he really didn't. But hey. Oh.
That would have been pretty good too. That would have hit him in the head.
Great.
Yeah.
If only he had spent some luck.
Yeah, he's now an NPC. No luck.
Yeah.
So it whizzes by his head and he begins to reload. Oh God! By the gods! Cultist 1 kind of sees Sir Carthis coming closer and hears the clinking of his armor and just looks at it and realizes he has a knife and he actually begins to retreat back up this way. Then sees Lucere kind of out of the corner of his eyes and kind of disappears into a shadow as he gets there. This cultist is running back over here. He's unable to get started, but he pulls out his knife. We have to hurry. We have to hurry. And Ayla, you're up.
Ayla's still rushing forward, just trying to get closer and closer. Just so very slow.
You need
And
a
the entire
chariot.
time, she's just screaming out for Elian to hold on, to wait for her.
Alright, Lucere, you're up.
So a full round movement is 2 or 3 times your movement. I think
It's
3?
whatever your run is. It should be a stat. I think it's times 3 your speed. It should be on your sheet.
Yeah,
Your
10.
run is 24. You can haul.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. What race is he? Let's see here.
He's human.
He's human, rolled all 10s for character creations.
Nice.
I did roll like 4 10s though.
That's
It's like,
crazy.
and then like 1 9, 1 8, and then like a 3 and a 4 and a 6.
You
Okay,
run.
so Lucere goes sprinting down these stairs into this large room. And can you kind of describe for me what he's seeing for the first time?
You're in pitch darkness where you are. You see 4 lights on the edge of this huge hole. And inside you see the outline of some large object that's pulsing and beating like a heart. In the middle on the walkway you see 2 cultists over an altar just ripping a body apart, moving parts around. It's hard to tell exactly what they're doing, but they're
Could I
carving
do
something out.
a magic training check to recognize what they might be doing or what might be happening?
Sure. And then you got 3 hit points back from your magic healing. I'll whisper you.
Yeah, so Lucere sprints into the room and kind of sees what's happening, and his face goes a little pale and his jaw drops. He's like, "A flesh golem?"
And as you yell that, the cultists begin to make another cut. Sir Carthis, you're up.
Oh boy. There was a man here. Did he run away?
He did. He did run away. I don't know if you're stepped away, but he
did.
he saw that you're in plate mail and thought that was a bad idea with his dagger.
Smart man. Nonetheless, seeing that Rothmyr is going this way and listening to me, I am going to take the opposite way. I will run. So for me, I think it's running. It's 15. Yes. Our run is 15. So I would run to the next brazier.
Okay.
And I don't think I can do anything else.
Yeah, that's it. Rothmyr.
All right. Rothmyr will continue to run. He'll get to the edge here, which is, yep. 14, and he will throw another throwing knife at cultist 4.
Okay.
You want me to do the acrobatics again?
Athletics, yep.
Athletics, yeah. And -6.
Let me see.
Oh, I'm
what
actually
range,
in
what
good
range
range.
band you're in. You are within. So you're basically 15. Its range is. So your negative is going to be -2.
-2.
Nice.
16, that's pretty good. He attempts to dodge. That hits. Go ahead and roll. Just go ahead and roll your dagger. Just click on dagger now. And that'll be your damage and your hit location out of that. Oh, only one. Yeah.
Barely, like, slices Nick clothes or
Yeah,
something.
it slices, so left leg, so hits him for 1 damage, slices him, he hisses, but doesn't even turn around as he's focused on what he's doing.
All right,
yeah, oh yeah, you're still going. Yeah, go ahead. You can spend a second action to go again.
That won't give me any movement though, will it?
No.
Okay, so I can throw another one.
You could. Your total negative will be 5.
Okay, I'll go ahead and throw one more.
Okay, you spend 3 stamina to do so. You're getting tired.
And this is -5?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Eight.
He dodges.
Okay. He'll start talking to him as he's like getting closer, and he's twirling the other blade in his hand. It's time for me to cut you apart. Starts smiling at him.
Yeah, you're pretty sure he doesn't even hear you the way he's going about this, as Illithor shoots at the cultist one last time. He's awful. He is truly. I'll give him up that. He is terrible. Oops, I rolled the dodge on the wrong guy.
Matt, how did you ever hire this guy as a guard?
Yeah, and that's a miss.
Yeah.
Match.
It was
Isn't
discounted.
matching is a failure, right?
It is correct. That is
But
correct.
that
But
so,
the attack is what has to beat.
Okay,
So,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
That answers my question.
Yep. All right, Cultist 1 sees Lucere just pop out of nowhere and moves over and tries to attack him with his dagger.
We're gonna get to them. We're gonna get them.
All right, go ahead and give me however you would like to defend that.
Okay, so I'll do a not a parry, but a block with the sword.
Okay, you can
I
do
think
that.
is what it
Yep.
is,
So
and
I
that's
gave
just a regular sword roll.
I gave you a sword token. I mean sword. What you call it?
Yeah, button.
Yeah, button. There you go. I think it's just sword -1. So it'll ask if it's attack or defense. Yeah, go ahead and roll your fumble.
Are these...
Where's the fumble at?
So it's the second
crit
button.
fumble.
Yep, crit plus fumble. So a 9. 9 versus, what did he roll?
He rolled a 15, so he beat me.
15. So that's okay. So that's definitely a critical for him. Go ahead and roll a 1d100. Okay, that didn't happen. So let's look at your crit. Let me pull out my... I should just get this ready every time. So that was... So he hit for 9... No, I'm sorry. He hit for 2 damage on the leg. So that's only 1. So we'll start there. So you hit for 1 damage as he cuts you. Then his critical damage. So 9 versus... That's 6. 6 is... Oh, that's not a it's just 6, right? You rolled a 9. He rolled... Nope, not a critical. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's got to be 7.
He was gonna do like the tiniest paper cut, but it was gonna be on like the carotid artery or something.
Yeah, well, who knows? We haven't seen, but yeah, he just barely cut you across the leg, and you're wondering about the dagger. It's covered in blood already from something. The cultist that has returned to the body begins to carve away. There we go. And you see both the cultists as they finish something. Ayla, go ahead.
I don't know. Ayla's too distracted to focus on... she probably heard someone scream flesh, or some sort of flesh golem, but she's too... honestly too focused at this point, just trying to push herself and keep running as fast as her little elf legs can take her.
She reminds me of like one of the Keebler elves, you know, every time it's like running.
Oh, she's just screaming the whole time for Elian to wait for her.
As these cultists set something on this one body, making multiple bodies into one, something sits up dramatically on the altar. A mismatch of flesh. Half its face is mostly skull with an eye hanging out. Its nose is gone. Its teeth are filed into razor-sharp points. And it simply looks out across the chasm. And one of the cultists says, "Feast! Feast!" And there it is, an initiative. Alright, Lucaire.
Okay. One.
Are these the guys that tortured me and captured me or whatever?
You never saw this area, really. You ran through and it was dark in here and no one was in here.
Okay, yeah.
It was just guards, normal guards for you.
So what I do here is I roll a spell attack.
Okay.
And then this guy rolls a defense, and for each point I beat him by, it does one. It's another pebble that does 1d6 damage.
All right, let's take the stamina cost first. It's 3 stamina. You don't have your focus.
Yep.
So -3. Okay, that's the first thing. And you get 3 hit points back. Let's do all our house cleaning here.
Still glad I cast that.
All right. So you need to roll a spell casting.
Yeah, pulling it up now.
Yeah, I should have added that into the macro. Write the note to myself. It's a dodge or block.
Ooh, baby.
That's a hit. For every point you roll above your opponent's defense, so it's going to be 10. Or no, 9.
That's
it's 9.
So 9d6. So this, I'm curious about this. Each one is resolved as an individual attack. So does that mean I should roll like location for each one as well, or?
Yes, you would, but this guy has no armor anywhere, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll 9d6 then.
Yeah, just roll 96. All right, how do you kill this guy?
Yeah, so as this guy charges in and like stabs at Lucer like tries to block and like misses the block, and he like cuts at his leg, and Lucer kind of falls to a knee and grabs a handful of just like regular dirt from the ground, and as he looks up he throws it at the guy like he's throwing dust in his face. But as it goes up, it turns into like super sharp stones and just shish kebabs him, where it like shoots through him and he's just covered in holes, and falls back, just bleeding from numerous wounds that have torn chunks out of like his chest, his face, like everything. Then Lucer is gonna, standing up, is gonna move 8 meters up towards the bridge.
Yep, you can do that. Sir Carthis.
Yeah, seeing that horror rise up from the slab, Carthis kind of recoils. Foul magics. He's gonna try to continue to press around this side to deal with them. Let's see. It would be another run, I think, to here.
Mm-hmm. The cultist, now done with his work, turns. And is he in charge range? Let's see. I believe he probably is. Let's find out. Whoops. No. He begins to rush at Rothmyr. Just... Ah! The answer is yes, Matt. And the flesh golem, standing, looks towards Lucer and begins to shamble somewhat quickly down the bridge towards him. Obscured by darkness.
Question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Using, if it's possible to use the magic knowledge thing from before, does Lucer know if he can use Dispel to like break whatever magic is animating this? Or once it's created, is that just not an option?
You're unsure. You're not. You don't know enough about monsters, and you're not sure that much about necromancy.
Okay, cool. I thought it was worth asking. So
yeah, sure. Elithor just like, oh, I don't know what to. I'm gonna roll courage based on how he's been role played. And Ilithor looks around and begins to run. Rothmyr.
Rothmyr's going to take both of his daggers. I suppose I'd have to pull the other one out after using the throwing knives, and try to make work of this guy as he's charging at me.
Okay.
Would drawing the blade take away my second attack?
No, I don't think so. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're just gonna fast attack him.
Yeah, fast attack.
Twice, yeah. 23. He tries to dodge. Nah. That's gonna be a critical. So left leg, so he takes 3 damage from that. Oops. 3 damage from that one. Then where's the critical table? That's by 7, so 3 extra damage that cannot be soaked. So it takes him to 18. And then he's going to roll on the critical table. Critical, simple critical. What happens? Not much. You just scar him badly. But what's one more? Go ahead with the next fast attack. Three. Yeah, that's another critical. 4 damage to the torso, so he takes all that. So he's going to take an extra 3 for that, so 7. And I'll roll on the critical table again. Sprain leg. Okay, that actually does something. So how do you cut into his leg bad enough to reduce his speed and whatnot?
Rothmyr starts spinning his blades around and smiling at the guy, and he just brings a blade across his, and then stabs down into his leg above the kneecap there, ripping it out, kind of smiling, licking his lips a little bit, growling at the same time.
He just screams out in agony. Alright, that was your first action, so you can do a second action for 3 stamina. Keep in mind you only have 8 stamina right now.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I'm good with that. I'll save the stamina.
Okay. The other cultist walks out to the edge of this platform and drives his own dagger into his throat, and he falls forward into this pit. And as he hits, you hear some, and Lucere, seeing this creature next to him grow in size, as it grows more powerful.
From the sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. And he is up. Oh, I'm sorry. Ayla is up.
Can I make a monster lore check to see if I can figure out what the fuck this is?
Yeah.
Cool.
Does it? And it looks like your lover still.
I mean, it doesn't look anything like your lover now, but...
Oh, she's in utter shock. Can't tell exactly what it is. And again, just keeps rushing forward. At this point, just trying to end whatever these things are, and maybe in her own head she thinks maybe she can bring him back once they're dealt with.
Lucere.
There's nothing metal on this thing, right?
No, it's...
Yeah,
I mean, it's naked, more or less.
Figured. Lucere seeing this thing charging out at him, and seeing it grow larger as the other guy falls into the beating heart below, is just gonna be like, shit, and turn and start heading the other way. As he does so, he, for the first time, gets a look at the armored knight coming up from below, and kind of has a very, like, frozen expression on his face for a sec. He literally freezes in place and just looks at Calder and then shakes his head after a moment and says, "You take the lead on this." And as he does so, I'm going to use that fire spell again to enchant Calder's weapon.
Okay. Is there a range to that? Just make sure that...
I believe it's 8 meters.
Okay.
So let me move first, and then...
Yeah, sure. You get your 3 hit points back. Yeah, you're within 8 there. Can you click on the spell just so I can see what it does again?
Yeah, of course. No.
Okay, so he has 2d6, so he has 6 as...
So he does an extra 2d6 fire damage for the next 8 rounds. Or, I'm sorry, the next 1d6 rounds.
Yeah, did you roll the 2d6? So...
I did. That was a mistake. I thought it was
Okay.
2d6 rounds, so I'll just roll 1d6.
No, I got it. Yep, go ahead. There you go.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and on that spell where it says damage, I'm going to set that to 1d6 and have that be for the number of rounds for the future, just so it's easier that way, if that's cool.
Sure.
But yeah, so Calder, you see this disfigured man like rushing towards you and then kind of slowing to a stop and like looks like he's seen a ghost. And then says, "You take the lead on this." And as he does so, he makes some hand gestures, and your sword starts to glow bright red, and flames start leaping from it, but just the blade, not the hand.
Yeah, Carthis would look at the disfigured man, and kind of a glint of recognition comes across his face, but he kind of looks at you, kind of squinted eyes, and sees his sword glow, and right, stay behind me. And it brings his shield and sword up, and move forward towards this thing. A bit reluctant. This would probably be the first time that Carthis would have fought something like this. So. I would come up and go into total defense right there, just kind of moving patiently towards the...
Okay.
Not in any big rush to fight this thing.
The cultist facing against Rothmyr sees that he's being cut to shreds, steps back, jams his own dagger into his throat, and turns it, and then slumps and falls into the pit. And this thing grows even larger. His teeth are almost fangs now, as it's 10 feet tall, and begins to move out and round off the bridge towards Sir Carthis and Rothmyr with no fear. Rothmyr, you're up.
Rothmyr's going to start running. To here. Is there any type of oil flasks or anything like that, like laying around within sight? And are there any chains hanging from the ceiling at all or anything like that?
No, all the chains are bound to the altar. There's nothing that looks flammable that you can tell.
Okay. And what you did? It sounded like you explained that there was something eating the guy down in the pit. Is there? I'll take a glance down there.
You look down in the pit, and the heart, some of the veins off the heart are detached, and they're like tentacles reaching up. You notice that they're only about 5 feet from from the bottom of the actual walkway, reaching up towards you. You see entangled in them are the cultists, and some of the veins are constricting them.
Okay. All right, I'm finished. I actually just ran to there and was looking around trying to plan something. So I am finished for now.
Okay. Ayla, the heart is it wouldn't be in reach, so you'd have to have something ranged to do it.
How far away is it?
It's probably 50 feet.
50 feet. How many meters?
How many meters down? So that would be what? 150? No, that away. 20. Ish.
I don't have anything that can reach.
Rothmyr will shout to her, actually, to Ayla, like point towards one of the braziers or something, and can we knock the flames onto the heart?
I was thinking the same thing. I'll try. Again, making the very slow trek back. Just slowly running. It's not I'm flexible tick.
How about a treadmill?
So slow.
Alright, start hustling back. Lucia with this thing bearing down on you.
So is this thing bearing down on him, Lucier is going to take the sword and kind of drag it along the ground and flick like dirt up, which again turns into super sharp pebbles. Flat. I'll link the spell again.
Yep. Okay. So that's a stamina cost of 3.
Yep. And let me roll the spell check.
Oh crap! You know what? I think I might have something in my gear. Chloroform. I thought that was interesting.
It hits it.
Let's put the heart to sleep.
So that's 4d6.
Mm-hmm.
Should I roll for where it hits? Where they each hit?
It has the same soak everywhere, so it gets hit for a total of. Actually, you probably should, because it's going to get halved.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll that hit location. There should be a hit location button on your sheet. Just roll it 4 times.
Do you know where on the sheet it is?
Should be on that front page, I believe.
Target location?
Yeah, target location, yeah. Arm, torso, arm.
It was arm, leg, torso.
Yeah.
Torso. Is this considered humanoid?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Arm,
So
leg, torso. Arm.
1, nothing. 1, nothing. So 2.
Yeah, so Lucer does that, and like the shower of stones, a bunch just kind of, I imagine, bounce off and ricochet away, and 2 like score small grooves and cuts on him, but nothing major.
Yeah, they actually bury into his flesh, but it just doesn't even. It's like extra hanging mass of flesh, not actually a part of his body, just kind of stitched in there.
Okay, well, seeing that, Lucer is going to continue moving away.
Alrighty. Alright, Sir Carthis, do your thing.
Well, so I will move towards this thing and engage with it. God damn, I can't see the damn thing. So Carthis, seeing that those stones had no effect on it, knowing the power of magic and seeing this will be a formidable foe, is going to try not to give it a chance to do anything. So Carthis is going to throw caution to the wind, and I'm probably going to do the strong attack. The benefit of that is what? Is it _2 damage, or what exactly is it?
It is a multiplier of your damage. It is ×2, I believe, before soak. Let me verify so I don't lead you astray here.
You're also getting an extra 2d6 fire damage and a 50% chance to light it on fire.
Nice.
So strong attacks, -3 to your attack. So yeah, I believe they do double damage. I'm pretty sure strong attacks are done first, then soak, then location. And then after that, you'll add your 2d6 from your sword.
Okay, so what we're gonna do? Yeah, you got to go for the big plays. So what Carthis is gonna do? I'm going to do a strong attack and aim for the head.
Okay, it's -9. It should all be worked into your thing.
I'm gonna pump all 4 luck points into it.
Okay.
So it'd be a minus.
Don't add it in, because if you click attack, strong attack, and then instead of random head, it should all be worked into the macro.
So how do I count for the 4 luck? Do I add that 4 at the end?
That at the modifier, that would be, you would put that in at the modifier. Yeah.
That's not good.
Oh my god. You rolled a 1.
I like this game.
Go ahead and roll your
Okay.
fumble. Alright, so you can never go, like I was looking at it, you actually can never go lower than 0. So your ad is, okay. Hold on. So, you actually cannot hit anybody around you. So that's the fumble thing. So let me look here. A nearby ally. You have nobody in range. So no fumble. I mean, you fumbled and missed, but you didn't hit anybody. No fumble effect.
I'll spend stamina to attack again.
Okay.
And I'll do the 2 fast attacks.
Okay, 2 fast attacks. All right. Man, this has been two games in a row where everybody's been rolling horrible. Uh, 15. He'll try to dodge. That's a hit, a good one. That's going to be a critical. So we'll start with the damage from the hit. It's 12 damage to start.
Plus another 2d6 of fire damage.
Yep, so go ahead and do that next.
And there's a 50% chance it lights it sets it on
That
fire.
was
Go
for
ahead.
bleed.
Bleed, and that was, you got the bleed, right?
Got the bleed, didn't get the ignite.
Alright, so he's bleeding. Okay, I'll take care of that. Okay, so we're going to do the critical now. So the critical, that's extra 3 damage because it was a simple one. And go ahead and roll on the Witcher GM thing of a simple critical. See what happens.
Where is it?
Right next to you. You probably can't see it. It's off.
No, yeah, there it is.
Hold on.
I have it.
It's too
yeah.
yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything.
You get another attack. Second fast attack.
Get him.
Yeah. 16.
That damage.
That's a critical too.
Ooh.
So that is in the torso. So he takes all of that.
Another 9.
Okay, so let me see how much. That's 35 damage.
Nice. And on fire.
Okay, so soaked. Okay, so he soaks 5 of 35, so he gets 30. Okay, and he's on fire. Okay, no multiple. So, and then it's a critical, so an extra 3 damage that cannot be soaked. And go ahead and roll on the critical table. Simple critical. Cracked jaw, nothing really.
Yeah, so Carthis.
Yeah, how does this all look as you're carving it up?
Yeah, after badly missing his heavy strike down to try to simply decapitate the monster, he reels back, recomposes himself, and resigns himself to a longer fight with this beast, and begins to just hack away. This thing moves very slowly to him. It's not like fighting a human opponent. So he just uses quick strikes, but is able to cut deep because for some reason to him it doesn't seem like it's protecting itself very well, and just carves and cuts through, tearing into bone and flesh. Here's his jaw crack on a backswing as he pulls his blade back and prepares to receive the return strike.
And as you're cutting it up, it doesn't swing. It reaches forward and tries to grab you by the throat for a grapple. So I'm rolling brawling. Ignore damage on this. It's just for the... Alright, so you can dodge or block the grapple.
Shit. I'm gonna block, I think, with the shield. What's my other shield?
Let me do one. Let me get see, because he's bleeding in fire, so I should look at that real quick before we move on, just in case something. Because I don't want to pick you up and throw you in the pit if I don't have to.
The bleed is like 1d6 or something.
I just want to make sure. I wish it was easily to find these things. Bleed, where are you? Alright, bleed, take 2 points of damage each turn, so I'll take 2. He's on fire as well, so I know that's 5. But that can be soaked by armor, but he has natural armor, so... Alright, so he is hurt, but... so 2... So it's definitely... It's on fire with bleeding everywhere. So go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, I guess I'll block with the battle axe and just adjust the shield. But I'm using the shield to do it.
That is a block. So it goes to grab you by the throat. And how does it look as you were able to fend it away?
So where it was before, not being very quick, with frightening speed, this lurches forward towards me, hands extended, trying to grab at. I mean, I'm sure it's up ahead over me at this point. It's probably massive. With frightening speed, I just kind of it's more instinct than having a planned attack. Because the last thing I was expecting was for this thing to try to grab me in full armor. And I bring my shield just quickly up, try to bat its hands away, feel the edge of its fingertips tickle my cheek as it passes by, and backstep. Gods, what are you? And raise the sword back, ready to begin again.
It actually acts again, this time just trying to smash you in the head. Actually, it's going to do a strong attack. It just, when it swings, like it's almost like a hammer fist just coming down at the top of your head because it's so much taller than you. Let's see. All right.
Hmm?
It missed. It has so many negatives that its roll. Because it's second attack, strong attack, etc. Yeah, it swings down and just whiffs just completely as it's falling apart. Rothmyr, what would you like to do?
Rothmyr is charging on in. With...
I think we can say you can get to it. Let's just
Oh, yep, I can get there.
put this baby to bed.
Yep. I still actually had 2 meters left. Charging at it, just full on running 2 daggers out, and he's going to try to carve up the creature's legs or behind the knees. Dagger attack. Fast strike. Do I need to put in a target location or
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
So you slide in, cutting the Achilles of this thing and the back of the hamstring. It teeters backwards from its great weight as you slide by. It falls into the pit as these tentacles reach up and grab it and squeeze it close to the heart, and the body, barely stitched together, just explodes in many different parts as the seams rip open. Guts fly everywhere, blood flies everywhere, and this body just almost disintegrates into 100 parts as these tentacles slash veins begin to feast upon it. And it leaves no opposition. Ayla sees bodies still on the altar.
Before anything, she's gonna continue to run over, and even though it's dead, she's gonna try, still pushing this brazier into the pit, seeing if it does anything.
You push the brazier into the pit, and the fire, like, whoosh, burns this thing, and the tentacles drop what they're feasting on and begin to climb the walls as if they're going to strike out.
Ayla, we have to leave now.
But and she'll look back to the bodies. They're still there.
This place is cursed.
There's no time. You see it? Point to the tentacles. You want to join him?
Oh, all right.
Carthis would start kind of running his way over to just grab her and work our way out.
Rothmyr will try running as well, trying to keep the distance from that pit.
Yeah, you can all flee.
Did I see like a chest thing down here at one point?
Sure.
Does Lucaire know where they all were keeping his stuff?
You believe that they were all kept down here somewhere.
Down here in this room, or like out?
You're not exactly sure. You've never
Or
been in this
or
room
did you mean
before.
down in here and like down back in the?
Yeah, down here, as in you came from above. So somewhere you knew that they took stuff into this room somewhere.
Okay, Lucaire's gonna run down and try and throw open that.
Yeah, as you're all running and Making your way out, Lucere finds a chest and opens it and has his gear and others' gear too, and is able to just heft the chest up.
Yeah. Just gonna pick up the chest and then bolt, hugging the wall, to follow the others, just huffing and puffing, carrying it.
Alright, give me 1 sec.
Is Sir Carthis bleeding? Is that what that mark is on there? Or is that your enchantment or something?
That was his enchantment. Mm-hmm. You rush outside, and you see this you can go ahead and make your way out if you want, or I can just pull you. It's easiest.
Pull me.
Pull you. You're outside this temple, knowing that you must go down to flee back into the caves, but you have time to catch your breath.
Who the hell are you people? Lucere says, charging in with like a chest full of stuff and huffing and puffing.
It doesn't matter. And she looks to Sir Carthis and she looks to Rothmyr. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Carthis will put his hand on Ayla's shoulder. You couldn't have known what this would have been. I'm sorry you had to see it.
It would have been better if he was dead before I saw him. Not being so close. She'll look over to Lucere. Well, I guess we at least got you out of it. Yeah? I'm Ayla.
Lucere, did you know Rossi?
Who?
The elf. His name was Rossi.
Rossi? No. His name is Elian. Who's Rossi?
He told me, he was my cellmate, he told me it was Rossi.
Rothmyr's eyes like narrow.
I can't be. He looked exactly like Elian. She'll kind of grab the bridge of her nose and shake her head. Maybe he forgot his name.
As they're chatting, Lucere is setting down the chest and pulling out and starting to put on his own equipment, but also kind of looking through to see what else is there.
Most of it is cash, coin, stuff like that.
Okay.
Rothmyr will look at the coin, kind of interested in what he's got in that chest there.
It looks like several hundred pieces at least. More than you can pocket yourself without carrying the chest.
Kind of licks his lips a little bit. I'm Rothmyr. I brought them here. We were looking for our friend.
Elian, his name was Elian.
Hey, I'm Lucere, a merchant from the south. My ship got caught in a storm a few weeks ago and these bastards picked me up. Are you sure it was your friend? Does your friend always wear a blonde glamour?
What do you mean?
That
He was-
that was a glamour he was wearing.
No, I understand what a glamour is. Like, he was wearing one.
He
How
must
can
have
the
been
merch...
a very accomplished mage to keep it up with the Dimaterium cuffs on, but there were the glimpses.
Mm. And Ayla can squint at Lucer. You must have been around a lot of mages to know about glamours there.
Lucer shrugs. An unfortunate side effect of being in the Empire. When you develop magic, they make you hang around others.
You look
But those
familiar to
days,
me.
I thought were long behind me. I'm just a wine merchant now.
I am Carthis Van Carden. You look familiar to me, stranger. You said you're from Nilfgaard?
Not Nilfgaard proper, but do you know many people with horribly disfigured faces?
I seem to recall yours before it was disfigured.
Uh,
Yeah.
You must be mistaken. I don't know what you're talking.
No, I'm almost certain.
Maybe.
Elra. Kind of looks at you quizzically. You knew Elra, didn't you?
He kind of shifts around and is like, that name means nothing to me. I'm sorry. I don't know who you're speaking about. You must have me confused with someone else.
You can do human perception if you want, or anyone, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that too there.
That's under empathy, yeah.
Oh no. Ayla steps forward and glowering at Lucer. Look here. We came a long way. We suffered a lot. I don't need you lying to us. I want you to tell my friend what you know, because I know you're hiding something.
Ayla and Rothmyr, you both notice that as Lucer is like grabbing things and putting like on armor and stuff, there's a piece of paper that he quickly slides, like tries to slide into like his breastplate.
Rothmyr like puts his hands on his daggers and kind of, you can see him, he's kind of like stepping to the side over here. What are you lying about? Why are you lying to us?
Lucer,
You Nilfgaardian?
Lucer looks back and forth between Ayla and Rothmyr, and then looks at Sir Carthis and kind of sighs and says, "So, are you still a Nilfgaardian lapdog after all these years? Bringing your friends, hunting me down, working for Imperial intelligence now?" And he spits on the ground.
Lucer, I was never that involved with the Nilfgaardian Empire.
You're Nilfgaardian noble, true born. You're all alike.
Come now. I was not expecting to see an old acquaintance. Where is all this vitriol coming from?
This vitriol is coming from what your people have done to me and done to so many others, and now you have your lackeys here?
Look,
And now you're working for Imperial intelligence?
the two of you. I hate to interrupt this get together again, but there's fucking tentacles back there and we fucking die. Can we please just leave and you all just have this argument outside? He works for me. Not the other way around. I'm not his lackey. Who do you think I am? No offense, Sir Carthis.
None taken. She speaks true, Lucer, but she is also right. We will air our grievances later. For now, survival comes first, I think.
Rothmyr relaxes a little bit, and you hate Nilfgaardians, then that's fine with me. You need help carrying that chest?
Lucer steps back and just motions, like takes what he can and then motions to it and says, "Help yourself."
Rothmyr will try to scoop as many coins out as he can.
Are you going to just carry the chest, or are you going to try to pocket it?
Probably just pocket as much as he can.
Okay.
Even if he has to, he'll cut a piece off of his cloak or something. Make a pouch of it.
You're scrambling to get the money, all the money. You're able to get a fair amount, and then eventually you hear some sounds from inside, sounds of movement. You're unsure of what kind, but
Need to go. There's something down from where we came from, so let's try to stay quiet. And she kind of looks around, realizing that Ilithor, out of all this action, he's gone, and she looks around. But where did Ilithor go?
Fair weather friends, milady. He's probably halfway back to town by now.
I'll deal with that later. Let's go as quickly as we can and as quietly as we can.
I'll leave.
Bet he ran out of perfume.
Hopefully.
As they leave, Aurelis is going to tip the two Bergiers there onto the path to leave like the flaming, smoldering embers behind.
yeah, you cut the lights and head forward. You're able to find the path down, which is a hole in the floor and rungs that take you deep into the cave where Rothmyr had escaped long ago. For those that came that way, they had avoided a monster, a ghoul, an eater of flesh. You hear nothing coming from below, but it's hard to know what's down there.
Yeah, Carthis will take his time. It'll take a few moments to relight his lantern with a new candle, or if the older one's still good, then he'll use it. But otherwise, use a new candle and light it, strap it around his waist. All right, Rothmyr, you lead, but I'll be close to you.
Rothmyr nods. If he can make a makeshift torch, or if they have any left.
Yeah, you have a torch. You have one torch and one lantern.
I got a lantern.
Lucer also had a lantern in that box.
Okay,
It,
so you all
it was
have
one
one.
of his things.
Rothmyr will try going ahead and sneaking if he can. Be as quiet as possible anyway.
Yeah, you're able to get down there. As you come down, you notice something immediately, Rothmyr. You see a body in front of you. His guts splayed open. Savage bite marks, intestines, organs, laying everywhere in a massive pool of blood.
Rothmyr will actually smile, but when he notices he's enjoying it a little too much, he tries to hide the fact that he likes it, and then he'll immediately try to search his body.
He has a coin purse on him, a crossbow, and a sword. And perfume, signet ring, various items.
As Ayla comes up and sees Rothmyr going through the body, she'll look down and gasp, kind of covering her face a little, and she'll actually charge a bit at Rothmyr and kind of grab him by the shoulder. What are you doing? Leave him alone.
Rothmyr looks at her kind of surprised, and he doesn't need this anymore.
He doesn't need it anymore, but there's no reason to do that kind of thing.
Ayla, we did tell the man he'd be paid. Besides, the dead need not those things.
Just, if I could have a signet ring, I'd like to at least give it back to his family.
Rothmyr actually has the signet ring in his hand and the coin purse in his other, and he hands her the signet ring.
She takes it and pockets it.
Yeah, Carthis would bend down to Rothmyr's ear. I'll compensate you for it. My thanks.
Lucer looks at the corpse and looks at y'all and just says, "So I take it this was a friend of yours."
He's a dear friend. I've known him for, well, I guess for him, quite a while.
Looks like the ghoul got him.
Well, let's do hope that that got its fill then. Oh gosh. Can't believe I'm saying it. We should leave quickly. I'd rather not end up with the same fate.
Quickly but carefully. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
As they walk past, Lucer is going to use that fire spell on his staff to cause its end to glow red hot, and then he's gonna set the body on fire before leaving.
The body begins to char and burn as Rothmyr begins to walk north.
How's it gonna
And,
walk? Go ahead.
Lucer
Sorry.
follows.
She'll look back at Lucer. Got sad eyes and just looking him over. So what did you say that the man's name was? That was on the altar there.
He told me his name was Rossi.
Rossi. How long you've been stuck down here with him?
Truthfully, it's hard to say. Could be days, could be weeks. He was there when I arrived. But no sunlight, no moon. Time does funny things in a place like this.
Did he... What did he say? What was he talking about? Did he say anything?
Well, he insisted that he had no magic, but from the very beginning, could tell that wasn't.
As you're talking, Lucer, you get basically the hairs on the back of your necks begin to stand up, as if you're not alone.
Lucer is turns around and is like, there's someone else there.
And directly behind you is a older man with a tattoo on his head, wearing a bright red robe with a high neck. He leans on a staff, a crystal staff. His eyes glow faintly green. You have interrupted something that has taken a while for me to put in motion. Very disappointing.
Apologies to disappoint, but frankly, it sounds like whatever you put in motion needed to be put to stop. Who are you?
I am the master of the Carnifex estate, of course.
Am I familiar with the Carnifex estate?
Nah, you have no idea where you are. Come forward, come forward. There's no need to hide now. I know that you are all out there. And that way is a dead end besides.
What exactly was that back there? That beating heart, the flesh golem, necromancy I've heard of before, but that thing.
Evolution. That is what that was. The birth of a new being. The birth of something greater than ourselves.
Greater than you, perhaps, but some of us aspire to higher things.
Perhaps. Let us see. When I call my dogs, shall I call them for you now?
I think that, maybe we can, come to an agreement instead. If you're calling your dogs, I mean, I feel like it's gonna end badly for pretty much all of us, no matter what. You're probably gonna die. They're probably gonna die. We're probably gonna die. Just be uncomfortable for all of us.
I will not die. He pushes his hand forward and puts it through a wall. And as he moves, he shimmers a bit. For Lucer and Ayla, this is clear that he is some sort of astral projection. He is not truly here. And he smiles. I have a bargain that I will offer, and offer once.
I...
He looks down at Illithor, and then forward. I require one of you to re-begin my work. One of you stays, the rest of you go.
Ayla will look to Sir Carthis and Lucer and Rothmyr. I begin your work at creating one of those things again?
Yes.
If I may ask one question before...
Of course. One wizard to another.
That man who was last sacrificed, the blonde elven one, or at least the one that looked like the blonde elven one. Why would he do such a thing? And where did he see that visage before?
Oh, yes. The glamour. What was your friend's name that you came looking for? Is that it?
Elian.
He was your friend. Elian, that's right. I almost forgot.
Do you know Hurius?
Unfortunately not. He was my apprentice.
What?
He would disguise himself as others, put his face on other people as a prank. He was growing strong.
I'm assuming that you decided to sacrifice him because he was getting too strong then.
No. He left before anything could come of that. I don't know where he is. I'm sure he is performing his own experiments in the world now. This was years ago, many years ago.
About this experiment of yours, this evolutionary design, tell me more. Explain. I simply don't understand.
What do you need to understand?
What
I
it
am
is,
growing-
what it requires, how it works.
It has taken me years, centuries of work. It is not something I can explain to you here and now. Make your choice.
Enough. We don't wax words with warlocks. And I push my way to the...
Wait, I have a counter proposal for you, if I may. So you suggest one of us stays here, but I suggest instead you fuck off. And casting Dispel to try and banish the astral projection.
Yeah, I think that's fitting. Do so.
It's
His vision.
opposed a spellcasting roll, if you think that's appropriate.
I'd like this. You do that, and he begins to speak. And his form just dissipates.
And Lucer turns to the others and is just like, "Run now, fast!"
Oh, all right.
Rothmyr, which way? Is it this way or a different one?
Rothmyr is very, very clear. He is in a dead end. He knows that. He took you the wrong way.
Okay. Yeah, I rolled. I think it was the wilderness survival we were doing last time.
Yeah, you could. But after getting yourself oriented, you can figure the way out. You rush through the cave. Go ahead and just follow my pings.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be like, it's back this way.
All right. Ayla's pretty shocked about the whole interaction.
I liked that, Lucer.
That's the thing about wizards. They talk too much and they never know when to shut up.
Most of them, anyway.
I felt he was trying to hold us there for some reason. Maybe waiting for his men to arrive.
Maybe.
As you get into this cross section, you see one, and you see two creatures around the corner. Rothmyr, you're able to stop just in the nick of time. They're chewing on something. They don't seem to have spotted you yet.
Rothmyr will hold his hand up to stop everybody and turn around with eyes really wide. Put a finger to his pursed lips as to tell everyone to be quiet. And he will start to try and sneak by as best as he can.
Okay, give me a stealth. Don't forget luck if you got it.
Oh, where is the luck?
It's a part of your attributes, so it's the last attribute on the list. That's how many luck points you get. You have 2 left, it says. I don't know. Did you use any of this?
Not this game at all.
Okay, so it should be at 4. So you can use them all, or...
Yeah, I'll definitely use one.
Okay.
And with the luck, you add a modifier.
Yeah, just one. One's for luck. That can't be right.
Did a +1 by accident.
Yeah,
so it'd
just
be
don't
17.
put it. Yeah, just don't put the plus in there. If you do a plus, it'll work. Yeah, no, you're cool.
17.
All right. So Rothmyr and Lucia are able. They cross the path, and these ghouls are continuing to eat. They don't seem to hear you.
Yeah. Carthis would come up with Ayla's. Carthis is actually going to position himself on the wall here, and kind of let Ayla try to get across first, so he's the last one, but he's more tensed in case one of them freaks out, because he's going to try to intervene if it does, and just kind of throw himself between, because he knows he's wearing this heavy armor. He knows he's going to be loud. Like, Ayla, sneak across quickly. I'll go last. Don't get scared if they charge you. I'll be there. Okay?
Alright. I'm gonna spend 2 luck for this.
Okay. All right, for that roll, I need to roll awareness. Ayla's beginning to cross, and she steps on something wrong, kicks a pebble, it's unclear. But these things, their heads snap immediately towards her. And then, and they turn, and they look like they're about to leap towards the middle.
Carthis would step between.
And get at least one.
I just try to pull you. Probably try to pull you behind me at that point if they're on either side.
Carthis, what is everybody gonna do? These things haven't moved yet, but they're.
I'm gonna use Rouet on them just to freeze them.
All right, go ahead and freeze one.
Yeah, so she can't quite see this one being pushed back by Sir Carthis, so she makes a sign and bangs a hand over to this one here and attempts to freeze it still. Oh, I need a roll, sorry. No, it's under will. My bad.
Yeah, it is under will. That's my fault. I need to fix these.
Spell casting. Oh.
It's pretty good.
He has to dodge.
No.
The first one begins to leap forward, and as it's in midair, you cast Roi, and it just stops and like crumbles to the ground, like on its knees, just like shimmering, almost like it's frozen, unable to move. Sir Carthis, what do you do?
Which one wasn't frozen? Because I think she was
one.
doing it on this one, so this one's not frozen.
Right, correct.
So I'm just gonna try to basically bully this thing, get it pinned right here, and just try to engage with it for a moment so that Ayla can slip by, since it looks like she did freeze the other one. It's like, go Ayla, go! And I'm just gonna swing on it, essentially. Keep it busy.
Before he gets that first swing in, can Lucer light up his sword again?
I would say not.
Okay.
It's just it's.
I was focused on getting past and.
Yeah. It's kind of all happening at the same time,
Yeah,
right?
no,
Without going into like specific combat. Go ahead and roll me like how are you gonna keep it pinned in there? Like just maneuvering your body with your sword, or bullying it back, pushing it with your shield, or
just yelling at it. It's like kind of like treating it like an animal, essentially. Like if you yell loud at an animal, try to spook it, hit it, push it back.
Give me an intimidation roll.
It's will, right?
It is.
And so Carthis will run up, back, you fiend, and just try to bash the shield loudly and yell at it and just spit in madness as he's pushing forward with the armor, just trying to make a racket.
Yeah, with your light, and you pop it in the nose with your shield and raise yourself up, making yourself look bigger than you are, and you have all this metal on and clanking, and the ghoul kind of shrinks back for a moment. It's baring its teeth, giving you guys one last chance to flee.
Yeah, Ayla's gonna take that and she's gonna run past Sir Carthis and over to the other side. Go, go! He won't stay frozen too long.
Lucaire doesn't need to be told twice and is booking it.
Yeah, Rothmyr was backing up kind of with his torch in front of him towards the ghouls, and he's going to turn and take off.
Everybody rushes out of the cave into the woods that's surrounding this place. It is late in the day. You all stumble out of this into this area that what's that, guys? Oh, because I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. And then you're outside suddenly. You hear the screams from the cave, the mouth of the cave, but these creatures do not follow, giving you some respite.
And Ayla leans on a tree and just exhausted at this point. Oh God. What the hell was all that?
Rothmyr will look over towards her and kind of breathing heavy still. Perhaps he's still alive.
Oh, if he's still alive. It sounds like it. I'm really confused. Does that mean he's not the man that I thought he was? She's gonna hold her head a bit. It's good to know that it was an alien in there, at least. Gives me a bit of hope. But if this kind of thing's going on in multiple different places, it's... God, that's a problem, that is.
Not all mages have such good intentions, Ayla. We should probably find a place to at least make some kind of camp for the evening. Not next to the cave, of course.
No, not the best idea. I wonder if there's any witch hunters out here too.
So what now, Carthis? If you intend to take me to your Imperial Masters, I'm not going to go without a fight.
Lucaire, or should I say Aurelius, now that I'm recalling details of you. I'm not who you think I am, and I don't work who you think I work for. I'm here of my own volition. I was not bidden to go anywhere by the Nilfgaardian overlords, as you state. Our meeting was happenstance, nothing more. I was going to say it was good to see a familiar face, but I see the feeling is not mutual. What happened to you?
What? Your dear Eldra never told you?
She and I went our separate ways many a time ago. She does still serve. I found a different path. Communication is difficult, as you might imagine. They're being sent off all over Hell's Half Acre.
your people didn't care for my relationship with Isolde. They sought to put me in my place, and as you can see, he motions to his face when he says this. They did, and revealed the cruelty of your empire, even in its very heart. They may have scarred me, but they also opened my eyes.
Carthis kind of furrows his brow and looks a bit saddened at that.
Nilfgaard. Rothmyr kind of spits on the ground as they're walking, kind of under his breath.
A fate too many know, unfortunately.
But tell me, if you're not Imperial intelligence, how are you here? How did you come to be this far north?
He came with me.
Carthis nods. Yes, I had my eyes opened, though in a much less painful way, I'm sorry to say. Nilfgaard isn't what it should be. It should be a beacon civilization, not a hindrance to it. I sought my own path, trying to do what good I can. I just traveled away. Didn't make sense to stay in Nilfgaard. Too many people knew who I was, and as you might expect, they gave me too much deference. Became places where I could make a difference without having to throw my weight around. I met Ayla. She is a kindred spirit, I would say. I've been in her service for some time.
Hey, Lady Ayla, I'm sorry, and apologies if I know that must have been hard to see, and apologies that you weren't able to save your companion. What was it, Elias?
Elathor. I'm saddened. Just basically came on almost a fool's errand, but it wasn't all bad, I guess. I mean, hey, we rescued you, so I'm glad you made it out alive. It's at least nice to see another friendly face.
I understand in these northern parts, your people are not always treated kindly. Let it be known that while I'm no fan of Nilfgaard, I do share the sentiment that there need be no bad blood between our peoples.
Oh, thank you. Not really helping being an elf and a mage and all wrapped into one. Not people who usually ain't the kindest to you.
Can sadly say that I know similar experiences. And what of you? Sellsword, was it? Rothmyr? I believe I heard them call you.
Aye. Yeah, sellsword, sure. Speaking of, when do I get paid?
Well, unfortunately, it wasn't your fault. It was a mistaken identity, so... Here, and she goes into her pockets, shuffling around, and she takes another small pouch filled with 100 coins and hands it to Rothmyr. I thank you anyway.
Rothmyr smiles and takes the pouch and opens it up. While he starts walking again, you can tell he's kind of counting it, trying to count it. And where are you headed now? Where are you off to?
I'm really unsure at this point. This is really the best lead to find an alien. At least I thought so, but... She looks back towards where they came from. part of me is tempted to find whoever that was in there. See if he knows more, but I know it's a mistake to go back. Even to knock on the main door. I guess I'm just gonna be continuing hunting.
Is there a pool of water nearby, perhaps?
Maybe. I don't really have a dowsing rod or anything like that. Can't tell you.
Lucer looks to the other two. What about you? Do you know of a pond or anything near here?
Rothmyr would know that there is a brook nearby that he had drank from when he originally escaped.
Alright, I'll take you to some water. Perhaps maybe we can camp there.
Aye. Sounds like a plan. Lucer, question, where exactly, did you receive your training? If any?
Lucer starts walking along with you and replies, like all subjects and slaves to the Empire who show any magical ability, I was taken to the Imperial Academy at Gwyson Hall, outside of Nilfgaard itself.
Forgive me, mostly just curiousness, how was that exactly? I was never really trained in an academy or anything like that, but I mean, I've had wonders.
Lucer just lifts a finger and points to his face, which I actually don't think I've referenced it a few times, but I don't think I've described it yet. You could kind of see it in the photo, but he's like really waifishly thin, really elongated face. But what stands out is his right eye is a good inch higher onto his forehead than the other eye, and about a half an inch further out from the nose, from the bridge of his nose. And there's a long scar going from his jaw up towards the eye on that side of his face that pulls the entire skin really taut, and makes it look very leathery. So he lifts his finger and points to it and says, the locals were not exactly welcoming to provincials with respect for themselves, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. I apologize. To kind of reach forward and gently touch his face. I wish I could help you. I can only do it for a short period of time if
the greatest mages in the Empire teach at that academy. Plenty could have done something, but they all thought it more important to put me in my place.
It is a sad thing, people turning on each other. Even if they're the most minor offenses. He didn't deserve something like that.
But you say you never studied at an academy? Tell me, where did you learn your magic?
Well, there's I grew up in Dulwathana. There's a sage there. Took me in with another girl. Learned with her. This was, and Ayla kind of looked to the side and look up. I don't know, maybe 80 years ago, 90. It's been a long time.
your people. I always sometimes forget how long-lived you are. And when was the last time you saw this this companion of yours, this man, this blonde elf you're looking?
Ayla looks sadly. She's walking. She's removed her hand from Lucera's face at this point, moving the same hand to her shoulder and rubbing it gently. Been about almost 60 years now. Many lifetimes for your people. But for me, it's... I don't know. Hasn't been that long for me. I've tried to move on. Trust me, I have, and talked to enough people about it. But it's hard when you try to plan your life around someone, you really get your heart set on it and are suddenly ripped away from you.
Hey, it's a feeling that I'm unfortunately familiar with. The world has a way of filling our hearts with desires for things and then wrenching them away.
And truly likes to do that. What's your plan after all this? Are you gonna continue to merchandise?
My all my wares and stock were lost in the shipwreck, but I need to find a friend, if you will, a woman who I have reason to believe is in Sidaris.
Do you know where?
I just know that she was supposed to be in Sidaris.
Well, I mean...
The capital, that is. Not the country.
Well...
And you? Are you planning to continue searching?
That I am. Gonna search until either found out if he's dead or alive completely. It sounds like what that man said, he's might still be alive. Even if maybe not the same man that I originally wanted to marry. But continue searching.
He said your lover, your fiance, was his apprentice? Have you heard of such a thing before?
Hellion didn't really strike me as someone who attempted to carve people apart and sacrifice them to hearts. But, I mean, anyone can change in a number of years. But, as awful as it sounds, I still want to find him for better or worse. Not saying I'd, marry him if he's not completely the same man as before, but it's closure at the same time. I've got
Do you ever worry in searching for closure and searching for the past? Do you miss opportunities and you miss the future in front of you?
To be honest, I do. There's probably a lot of things that I could have been doing in the meantime. Got things that I'd like to strive for, and I've tried to do those things in the meantime, but I mean, you're not wrong. They've probably fell to the wayside at this point. But, I mean, maybe you got a point there. It's just... It's hard, I'm sorry. I'm complaining and all this, and you've just been through a shock.
The shock is seeing the sky again. Truth be told, I thought I was going to die down there.
Well, if you're heading to Sidaris, I Don't know exactly where Sir Carthis and I are going next, but I think it's on the way. You want to join?
I could use the companionship, but tell me truthfully, Sir Carthis, do you really trust him?
I trust him with my life. He's a loyal companion, loyal bodyguard, and I'd say a loyal friend at this point.
What do you know about his past?
As you are talking, Rothmyr spots the lake ahead, the small pond or the large pond. And you hear a humming in the distance cutting through the trees. Kerplunk. Kerplunk.
Rothmyr will put a hand up to kind of stop them from talking and point towards where he hears the sound. And he says, "The water. Up ahead. Someone's here."
Maybe we can get a better look if we... she'll look at Sir Carthis. Maybe we shouldn't sneak closer. See what we can see, maybe.
Rothmyr looks back and he says, "I can sneak up."
Yes, you should do that. Be wary. What are the elves called that are gorillas?
Squirtle.
Oh shit, I would be aware of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's common knowledge.
Is this an area that? I mean, Squirtle are probably everywhere in the north, but is this an area where they're known to be?
Not really. You're pretty far away from the super heavily wooded areas. This is a small little forest.
Man, tap Rothmyr on the shoulder. It shouldn't be a Squirtle, but be careful.
Rothmyr nods.
If you
No
just
choice.
talk to him.
He smiles.
Rothmyr, go ahead and give me a stealth roll. Yeah, you're able to move along the bank of the river. You see, as you get closer, a man sitting on the edge with a fishing pole, throwing it in ever so often. Kerbunk. He leans back on a tree, pulls his pole out of the water, and just sits there. Takes a rock and flips it in the pond.
Rothmyr will kind of be wary, if making sure there's no one else maybe around before he makes himself known before the man.
Yeah, you see no one else around. You kind of scout it out a bit. There's no one else there that you can tell.
And then he'll kind of be half behind the tree, behind the guy, and I'll just speak to him.
Mm-hmm.
You live around here, old man?
Oh, boy. You did. You shocked me there. I didn't see you. Around here, not so close, no.
What are you doing out here alone? It's dangerous in these woods.
It is? I had no idea.
He'll kind of walk around the tree, but while he's behind the tree, if I can see the others, I'll just wave for them to come up.
Yeah, you could.
Well, looks like it's all safe up there. Shall we?
Carthis would nod, but then kind of point at your ears, Ayla. He may get scared.
Am I able to... I don't know if I can use the glamour to hide the ears.
I think you could. I think
Cool.
that's a reasonable way to use it.
Yeah, so she'd do that, kind of make her features a bit more round, less pointed, and definitely dull down the ears, muttering some incantations before her face shapes and transforms. She looks to the others. It looks like I'm less scary now.
Yes, to some, I'm sure. He would walk towards the pond.
Rothmyr's
Yeah.
gonna... Oh, sorry.
No, he's looking at you, doesn't even see the others
Yeah, Rothmyr will
approach.
continue his conversation with him and say, do you know who owned these lands?
Own these lands? Huh. I don't think a man can own such lands as this. Hey, we're in the middle of nowhere. We're in... What, is this Doris? Well, I suppose the king of Doris then. He kind of looks away and catches sight of the three of the rest of you walking. He's like, huh! You brought an angel! I've never seen... Who are you all?
Oh, hello. Sorry we scared you. I'm Ayla. Nice to meet you.
Oh, I'm Roger. Roger Pickle Branch. And, I have to say, my chin's on the floor.
We came to drink from the water.
Oh, well, the fish aren't biting, that's for sure. It's got a sweet taste sometimes.
Lucer is gonna try and like hold back a little bit and wait for when the this fisherman is looking at someone else, and then is gonna cast telepathy. More specifically, to use the telepathic spot.
Right. Is there something specific you're just reading his base thoughts?
Yeah, just glancing into his mind to see what he's thinking about. Lucer is just gonna frown.
Yeah, he's just... he smiles, right? And, well, anyway, he scratches his head.
Do you know...
Yes. Go ahead.
Do you know that manor? That manor not far away. And I'll kind of point the direction we came from.
Oh, yes, there's a vineyard over there, I believe. I can't say I've ever had the coin to buy their wine, but...
Do you know who
Frowns.
owns it?
Oh, I'm sure some rich man. No one I know.
Who would know?
Who would know? I don't know.
Tell me,
Carthis.
peasant, who is your lord?
Lord, did you call me a peasant?
Do you not have some noble that you owe service to?
Oh no, I'm a free man. Free here in the woods with my friends.
Oh, what kind of friends?
Well, it's the Lord Hunter, of course, and his band. Keep me safe.
The Lord Hunter.
Yes, or you can call him me Lord or Hunter Lord. I call him my Lord Hunter, personally. He looks back to Ayla, smiles.
Do you think your Lord Hunter would mind if we spent a camp night in his woods?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Perhaps we should go see him.
Does he usually accept visitors that he's never met before?
Sometimes.
Oh, where would he be exactly?
Oh, I could take you not far. Oh, reach
Perhaps,
there by nightfall, maybe.
perhaps another time. We wouldn't want to bother this Lord Hunter. We could just be on our way.
Oh, I don't know. He might want to meet you now.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Well, he does like to meet people that come into the woods. I think it would be respectful, certainly.
Unfortunately, we're in such a hurry. We have no time.
No,
You're not-
Aurelius. If we are on someone else's land, I think it's safe to at least introduce ourselves. We are passing through on a privilege, and if we deny such a request from a subject of this Lord Hunter, it may cause bad faith for us the rest of our travel.
Lucaire looks at that was Sir Carthis, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lucaire looks at Sir Carthis, and you hear a voice in your head saying, "This Lord Hunter is dangerous, and I don't think he means us well."
Am I able to
The man
reply
is
with
simply
voices in my
mad.
own head?
Yeah, it's just in your head.
Okay.
It's Lucaire using telepathy.
And I would blink and kind of look at Lucaire and
As I hate to be rude, but you know we have to get to Sidaris immediately. We have no time to waste. We must go.
Rothmyr was like, well, let's get some water at least, correct?
Probably for the best. I mean, I think we're all a bit thirsty, you know.
Well, the water technically is the Lord Hunter's.
Really? That
I,
mind?
well, perhaps not for you, but these others, this one's quite rude.
Oh,
Nods to Lucaire.
I know, but you know, they're kind of dear friends of mine. They have their, and she'll kind of lean in close to the gentleman. They have their, you know, problems sometimes, but you know, sometimes you just gotta accept people for the way they are. I think, you know, if it's just between the two of us, I don't think the Lord Hunter would mind too much, don't you think?
I don't know about that. I guess he'll decide, but...
a compromise perhaps then. How about I go as a representative for this Lord Hunter, speak with him directly, as on behalf of the rest of us.
I guess I'll have to ask him. I tell you what, you all stay here. I'm not catching any fish anyway, so I'll just toof over there and see what he says.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a good idea.
All right, well, you're a very nice man. He claps Sir Carthis on the shoulder, and he smiles to Ayla. And you are just an angel. Just an angel.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm very flattered.
Looks to Rothmyr and gives him a nod, and then looks to Lucaire, and he's like, I don't like you much, but maybe you're grouchy because of the way your face looks. I don't know.
Among other things.
He shrugs. Well, I got a little walking to do, and he starts stretching and pulls his pole up and throws it over his shoulder. Well, I'll be seeing you soon, I think. Go talk to the Lord Hunter and see what he says about all this.
I will be seeing you soon. Safe travels.
Yeah, well, you guys just relax here. This beautiful little pond. I could leave you my fishing pole if you want, but they aren't biting, like I said. Well, I'll see you in a few hours, maybe.
We'll be here.
Alrighty. He gives a nod and bows to Ayla and begins to walk off, and soon his form disappears through the woods.
As soon as
Rothmyr,
he's gone, Lucera's just gonna say, that man had a truly filthy mind.
What do you mean?
The things he was thinking about would make a prostitute blush.
Rothmyr looks at everybody and he looks over towards Sir Carthis and kind of like half pulls one of his daggers out. Should I go dispatch him?
What?
No.
No.
Man.
He puts his blade back.
Um,
Oh, you were
Ted?
serious. You wanted to wait here.
I have my own reservations about the situation that we're in, but at the same time, whether there's a legal claim to this land or no, if someone claims dominion over it and we trespass or partake in its wealth, and kind of gestures towards the pond, we have to answer to it. We've already
Well-
been through enough. We don't have to have any more trouble, do we?
Something was strange, though. When I first approached him, I told him it was dangerous in these woods and asked him who owned the land, and he said no one. And then he changed his story pretty quick about the hunter owning the land.
Maybe it's... I'm not exactly sure. Maybe you just startled him? I don't know. I don't want to assume the worst.
hey Ted.
Yep.
One of the reasons I asked about this pond, I'm curious. Lucere has the ritual. Let me post it real fast.
Like the water scrying thing? Yeah, hydromancy.
Yeah, the water scrying thing. As
Nice.
part of his starting equipment, he has 100 crowns worth of like components. But I'm not sure. Like, I couldn't find a list with like how much all of those components cost.
Oh, I just hand wave that stuff.
Okay. When the guy's gone, then Lucere's gonna be like, anyways, before we deal with that, do you want to see if we can spy on whoever that man was in the dungeons?
Yes. That would be fantastic.
Lucere's gonna walk to the edge of the water and lean down and get on his knees and reach into his pack and pull some materials out and like grinds up something into a powder and sprinkles it in the water, makes a few hand motions in the shape of a cross and whispers, and then just touches the water and it goes clear. It goes like clear and turns white for a second before he tries to summon an image of whatever the wizard who astro projected is doing right now.
You walk to the water, look down into its depths. It turns from a greenish hue to brilliant white. The pool forms as ripples show you like a mirror. You look through and you see this man that you had met earlier today through astral projection. He's seated at a high-backed table or a high-backed chair and a long table. At each of the place settings is someone sitting there, but they look strange. They have different faces, mismatched eyes, sutures in their head. Their eyes are dark, looking forward. Well, let's begin. Fork first. He takes a fork and raises it up, looking down at a plate of meat in front of him. These creatures all around reach for the fork, some fumbling, some picking it up, some stabbing themselves. All awkward. He sighs. This is most disappointing. He stands up from the table, walks over to a basin, looks down into the water, and you see your own reflection peering back. And as this happens, the screen fades to black. And that is it for tonight.